evening and welcome to tonight's Undaunted, bringing into the news on church stories. I am Oyin Okbala. Let's begin. In a chilling reminder of the world's relentless grip on a nation, Ambazonian, the lifeless body of a young man was found in the K-Town area of Nkwen, sending shockwaves of terror through the community. The victim, whose identity remains shrouded in mystery, bore the gruesome hallmark of torture with brutal injuries that told a tale of unimaginable suffering. As the people of Nkwen struggle to come to terms with this latest atrocity, the question on everyone's mind is, who will be the next to fall victim to the war's merciless onslaught? The streets of Nkwen have become a killing field where death stalks the innocent, and sounds of gunfire and screams fills the air. Random killings, kidnappings, and torture have become an all too familiar reality as the war continues to ravage the communities with so much impunity. The once peaceful neighborhood is now a hotbed of fear and uncertainty, where residents live in constant dread of being the next to be snatched away by the war's deadliest tentacles. The discovery of the young man's body is a deep reminder of the war's destabilizing and devastating toll on the community. We hear that investigation into his death is continuing. One thing is clear: the people of Nkwen are living in a state of siege, where the war's relentless violence has become a constant companion. The community is trapped in a living nightmare, where the sound of gunfire and the sight of lifeless body have become a grim of reality. As the search for answers continues, the people of Nkwen are left to wonder, will they ever be able to escape this senseless war's deadly grasp and live in peace? Or will the conflict continue to haunt their streets, claiming more lives and leaving behind a legacy of fear, trauma, and destruction? The fate of Nkwen hangs in the balance as the war rages on with no end in sight. With so many reports coming on tonight's Undaunted, we'll leave this to get you the prime headlines. Alright, for tonight, let's start with the report of unidentified young man's corpse found in Nkwen, Bamenda. Also tonight, we take this gory story of a 70-year-old man declared wanting for allegedly raping a 5-year-old child. Also, a child has died after being administered a wrong injection in a Laos Republic de Cameroon health facility of Mbanga. Laos Republic de Cameroon economic crisis pushes Ambazonian citizens to theft. One dies in an attempt to leave Laos Republic de Cameroon by hiding in the landing gear of a plane bound for Europe. On the African scene, South Africa calls for unity at G20 amid Ukraine tensions, while Trump's Ukraine peace push and concessions to Russia leaves Ukraine and Europe cold. Now let's get the news in full briefings.
Ambazonia. Empower ABC Amba TV. We are calling on Ambazonians around the world to unite and uplift ABC Amba TV, Ambazonian Broadcasting Corporation. In this critical time of war, ensuring the station's survival is more important than ever. But what does ABC Amba TV truly represent for Ambazonia?
At the heart of Ambazonia's war of independence, ABC Amba TV stands as a beacon. Years of recolonization, annexation, and French Cameroon's oppressive occupation of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia have led to our exclusion. Our identity was hidden, our history distorted, our sovereignty denied. Queen of England is aware that the British Southern Cameroons were never a colony under France.
Since its inception in 2018, ABC Amba TV has been our lifeline.
Most of the diplomats we have failed to resolve the crisis as fear grows over an imminent Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Our work in the dark is our chance to tell our stories to the world, to give voice to the voiceless, and broadcast the truth of our struggle.
We are serious about executing this revolution.
It has become a vital arm of our government in wartime, making diplomacy achievable and showcasing our untold stories.
ABC Amba, you guys know how important ABC is for this, our quest for international recognition.
Your donations can make a world of difference. Every bit of support helps keep our stories alive, our presence known, and our fight in the global conversation.
The moment they notice that we are no longer on air, they think that, oh, maybe La Republic has succeeded. This is about Ambazonia. One thing we must always remember.
Where would we be without ABC Amba TV? Let's ensure we never have to find out.
A revolution is a temporary state of insanity to bring about sanity.
Mobilize, donate, stand with Ambazonia. Donate to ABC Amba TV.
Together, let's write the next chapter of our history.
It is better to light the candle than to curse the dark.
Support ABC Amba TV campaign. Ambazonia Independence, voice for the voiceless. Mobilize for change.
Meanwhile, today we highlight the situation in Batumo village of the Benekuma County, where the legacy of colonial neglect has left residents living in condition reminiscent of the Stone Age. Despite being in the 21st century, located in the Menchum Valley of the Savannah Zone, this community is resorting to digging their own roads by hand. Batumo is bordered by the Isembi, Biber, Bako, and Asake village, known for being the highest producer of cocoa in the zone. It also cultivates valuable forest products like njagas, bush mango, egusi, and bush pepper. However, despite the abundance of natural resources and the history of exploitation by La Republic de Cameroon colonial powers, the village has not been provided with basic infrastructure, including even a motorable road. A video is currently circulating online showing footage of some residents volunteering selflessly as they struggle to remove a heavy rock from the road. These individuals have no visible tools, only their bare hands. The lack of proper roads poses significant challenges for the community. Farmers struggle to transport their goods to market, hampering their livelihood. The residents are calling on the colonial government to recognize their plight and take action to improve their living condition, which have, by the way, worsened with the ongoing 8-year-long war declared on Ambazonia by La Republic de Cameroon. We are yet to get the reaction of the colonial government on this issue, but we are certain that this is not the first that people come out to do the jobs themselves. Moving on, this morning, the body of a young man was discovered in the K-Town neighborhood of Nkwen, Bamenda. Local colonial authorities claim to be currently investigating the circumstances surrounding his death. Residents in the K-town of Nkwen were shocked to find the lifeless body of a young man today. As of now, the victim's identity has not been confirmed. Witnesses reported that the young man appeared to have been tortured with visible injuries on his head and body. The exact cause of death is still under investigation. The colonial law enforcement is said to be working to gather more information. Nearby, a bottle of wine was found close to the body, but it's unclear if it belonged to the victim or if it was left behind by the perpetrators of the act. Meanwhile, colonial authorities are encouraging anyone with information to step forward to assist in the investigation. And of course, Undaunted will continue to follow this story and share updates as they come. In another sad report, a 70-year-old man has been declared wanted for allegedly raping a 5-year-old child repeatedly. A village of Kijom Ketungar in Chuba local government area is reeling after allegations surfaced of the repeated rape of a 5-year-old child. The victim, whose name is being withheld to protect her identity, reportedly endured this horrific ordeal 4 times, most recently on Sunday, February 16, 2025. The alleged perpetrator is Stinkberg Mukanyu Joseph Ziban, also known as Pa Jiban, the quarterhead of Ntelo. While Joseph, believed to be around 70 years old, had a retired penitentiary officer, has reportedly fled the community. When he was caught red-handed, he pretended as if he had a cardiac arrest and then fled the scene before many people could arrive. There is a general outcry within the community that anywhere he is found, he should be taken to the authorities. The assaults have generated significant outrage and, of course, condemnation throughout Kijom Ketungar and beyond. Community leaders and residents are demanding swift action from Kwifun and Fon, who are the traditional rulers. They are calling for Joseph's immediate dismissal from his position as quarterhead and any other role he holds within the Fon's office. Many believe that the action he faces or the accusations disqualify him from any position of authority or trust. They insist that this case, because of its criminal nature, must go to the Justice Department and not just stay within the customary court system. A community elder who wished to remain anonymous stated in his words and said that this is a heinous crime that we cannot tolerate. We must serve justice and we must hold this individual accountable for his alleged actions. The child was taken to the hospital in Tinga by the mother, a quarter in Kejumkin Tinga, on Monday, February 17 for a medical examination. Medical checks were carried out and medications were prescribed. Meanwhile, further tests are scheduled in 2 weeks to ensure no diseases were contracted. Preliminary medical reports from the Baptist Hospital are said to have been received, but will not be released to the public to protect the child's privacy. Psychological and psychosocial follow-up will support the child's recovery and well-being beyond the immediate medical attention we got to know. This incident in Kijom Ketungar is not an isolated one, by the way. In a society such as the Cameroons, where cultural taboos and a legacy of gender inequality prevails, sexual violence often remains hidden. Moving on, still about children, a child has died for being administered wrong injection in a La Republic de Cameroon health facility of Mbanga, a native from Com. Right here we'll pause and make a clearing statement. Of course, the children, the teenagers, the mothers are those who would definitely bear the brunt in a senseless war as this. A devastating incident has occurred at a health facility in Mbanga, and of course a child tragically lost his life after being administered a wrong injection. Well, according to a report, the child whose identity has not been disclosed was taken to the hospital for treatment of a minor ailment. However, in a shocking turn of events, the medical staff mistakenly administered an innocent injection which proved fatal. The hospital authorities have confirmed the incident and have launched an immediate investigation into the matter. Well, according to a hospital spokesperson, in his words, it says, "We are deeply saddened by the loss of the child and are taking these incidents seriously. We will be conducting a thorough inquiry to determine the cause of the mistake and will take necessary actions to prevent such incidents in the future." Why not before the accident? Well, the family of the child is understandably distraught and is seeking answers. The incident has also raised concerns about the safety and quality of medical care at the hospital. La Republic de Cameroon top officials are aware of these, the reason why they seek medical attention out of the country anytime they are sick, by the way, leaving the poor at the mercy of poorly trained medical personnel who are even poorly paid. The authorities have assured that actions will be taken against those responsible for the mistake and that measures will be put in place to prevent such incidents from occurring again. The tragic incident highlights a disturbing lapses in the training and protocols of the medical practitioners involved. It is, however, appalling that such a critical mistake could occur, revealing a glaring inadequacy in the children, education, and preparation of these healthcare professionals. The fact that a wrong injection could be administered with such devastating consequences raises serious concerns and questions about the rigor and effectiveness of their training programs. It is clear that more emphasis needs to be placed on hands-on training, medication safety protocols, and crisis management to prevent such catastrophic errors from happening in the future. Is that all? Definitely not. Another sad event today shows the La Republic de Cameroon's economic crisis pushes Ambazonian citizens to theft. While La Republic de Cameroon corrupt officials feast on the sweat and blood of innocent civilians, the economic struggle is pushing more and more civilians to commit crimes. Just yesterday, workers at a construction site in the Mule neighborhood of the Atlantic zone of Fiango-Kumba caught a man who had been stealing from them. Tensions flared at a construction site in the Malwe quarters, Fiango-Kumba, as workers took action against a thief who had been rummaging through their bags. This incident comes amidst growing frustrations over the difficult economic times and the mismanagement by the colonial authorities, which many believe are pushing some individuals into desperate acts. The workers reported that they felt unsafe as the theft had become a regular occurrence behavior. They banded together and chased down the suspect and ensured he faced immediate consequences. Frustrated by the bad governance of the La Republic de Cameroon, another dies in an attempt to leave the country by hiding. This is another report. A tragic incident took place at Yaoundé Airport in the colonial political capital of La Republic de Cameroon, where a man lost his life while attempting to travel clandestinely. The individual without a visa, passport, or plane ticket allegedly tried to hide in the landing gear of a plane board for Europe. What do we call this? A desperate attempt. But who is bearing the consequences? Him, and maybe the family. Well, according to initial reports, the man whose identity has not yet been revealed sought to escape his situation the situation in the Cameroons by taking an insane risk. But unfortunately, even if he had managed to remain hidden, his survival would have been compromised by the extreme conditions at altitude, where the cold and lack of oxygen will make such undertakings almost impossible. This tragedy deeply highlights the desperate conditions that drive some people to risk their lives for an uncertain future just to flee for the hardship. Some people, especially those in the Cameroons, who are imposed with lack of basic infrastructures. Well, this tragic incident at Yaoundé in Samilan Airport has also raised many questions about security at the Cameroonian airports. Obviously, it's porous. How was this man able to access such a sensitive area without being detected? Is a question begging for answer. On the socials, reactions are strong. Some denounce flaws in the control of infrastructure. One asks if a man can assess the landing gear, what prevents other individuals with bad intentions from breaking into planes? Think about it. This alarming observation highlights the need for increased security measures to protect not only passengers but also airport staff. Beyond security issues, this event also shows the social and economic pressures that push some people, Cameroonians, Ambazonians, to make desperate decisions. It is a reminder of the urgency of addressing the root causes of these human tragedies, whether it is improving local opportunities or raising awareness of the dangers of such initiatives. Things must be done. This is the compelling hardship that Ambazonians are doomed to endure if they don't break off the La Republic to Cameroon's colonial yoke. Ambazonians at this point are seeking for complete independence, and they also believe that it is the only option for total freedom. Coming right after this break is news across Africa. South Africa calls for unity at G20 amid Ukraine's tensions. Foreign ministers from the world's top 20 economies convened in Johannesburg, South Africa, for a pivotal G20 meeting against the backdrop of geopolitical divisions, the ongoing war in Ukraine, and the notable absence of the United States. As the current G20 chair, South Africa hosted this year's first major ministerial gathering, where President Cyril Ramaphosa urged nations to prioritize multilateralism and international law to address global challenges. The principles of the UN Charter, multilateralism and international law must remain central to their efforts. They should be the glue that holds them together. These are the words of Ramaphosa, as he stated in his opening remarks. But he acknowledged growing discord amongst major powers, including within the G20, on how to address critical global issues. The United States opted not to attend after Secretary of State Marco Rubio rejected the summit's agenda on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This follows President Donald Trump's recent decision to cut aid to South Africa amid tensions over its land reform policies and its genocide case against U.S. ally Israel at the International Court of Justice. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov participated in the meeting alongside European officials who have reaffirmed their support for Ukraine and confirmed and condemned Russia's aggression. International leaders remain divided over Washington's new approach to Ukraine following Trump's return to power. His push for direct negotiations with Russian President Vladimir Putin has not left there. All right, and that's all for the African scene. Coming up next is news across the globe. All across the globe, Trump's Ukraine peace push and concessions to Russia leaves Ukraine and Europe cold. Well, U.S. President Donald Trump's effort to end the war in Ukraine is presently gaining momentum, but not everyone is happy about it. His push for a peace deal seems to be favoring Russia, which is leaving Ukraine and its European supporters feeling like they are being left out of the conversation. Now, this is a big deal because it could have major implication for the nation Ukraine and the global balance of power. But here is the thing, in my thoughts, Ukraine isn't the only one affected by Trump's pivot to Russia. China is also watching closely because it has a lot of loss or a lot to lose if the US and Russia suddenly becomes best friends. Chinese leader Xi Jinping has been working hard to build a very strong partnership with Russian President Vladimir Putin. And of course, he feels that it's a US-Russia peace deal and it could throw a wrench in those plans. Just a few weeks ago, it seemed like China was going to play a key role in Trump's Ukraine peace efforts. Well, the US leader was talking about working with Xi to use China's economic influence over Russia to help end the conflict. This would have been a very big win for China because it would have given them more leverage in their trade negotiation with the US. But now, it is clear what's going to happen. The situation is moving fast and it's hard to predict the outcome or what the outcome will become. One thing is for sure, the US peace drive is going to have a very big impact on China's relationship with Russia and the US, of course. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. But is that all? When we take a walk to the BRICS, Trump takes an aim at the de-dollarization. I was wondering if Trump was going to be quiet about de-dollarization. Obviously not the Trump that we know. Well, US imposes tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China and warns other countries of its consequences. Well, US President Donald Trump has taken a bold step to protect the US dollar by vowing to put an end to the de-dollarization initiative started by developing countries since 2023. Well, the president has threatened to impose import tariffs on any country that tries to sideline the US dollar for trade, making it clear that he will not hesitate to take action to safeguard the dollar's status as a global reserve currency. In a recent move, Trump imposed tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China, citing their failure to prevent the flow of undocumented migrants and illegal drugs in the US. The tariffs, which range from 10% to 25%, will apply to a wide range of goods from these countries and will take effect immediately. The president has also warned other countries that they could be next if they do not take steps to address his concerns. The de-dollarization initiative, which aims to reduce the dominance of the US dollar in global trade, has been gaining momentum in recent years. Several countries like China, Russia, India have been exploring alternative currencies and payment systems to reduce their reliance on the dollar. But however, right now, Trump's move is seen as a clear signal that the US will not tolerate any attempt to undermine their dollar status. And so the tariffs imposed on Canada, Mexico, and China are expected to have significant implications for trade between these countries and the US. So the move has already sparked concerns about a potential trade war, with Canada and Mexico vowing to retaliate with their own tariffs. China, on the other hand, has always warned that it will take necessary countermeasures to protect its own interests. China has always been like that, by the way. So the situation is being closely watched by economists and trade experts, and even Undaunted. So experts have warned that trade wars could have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. So the US is one of the world's largest trading nations, we all know, and any disruption to trade flows could have significant implications for businesses and consumers around the world. As this situation continues to develop, it remains to be seen how other countries will respond to Trump's move. What will happen to BRICS and the moves to de-dollarize the dollar? However, one thing is clear: the US is determined to protect the dollar status as a global reserve currency, and it will take all necessary steps to achieve this goal. The question is, what will the BRICS do going forward? Oh well, we'll definitely have answers to that once they do something going forward. This is where I would draw the curtains on tonight's Undaunted. But before we go, let's take a look at the major stories. Well, tonight on Undaunted, we talked about the unidentified young man corpse that is found in Nkwen, Bamenda. Also tonight, a 70-year-old man has been declared wanted for allegedly raping a 5-year-old girl repeatedly. We told you a sad report of a child who died after being administered wrong injections, while our Republic of Cameroon's economic crisis pushes Ambazonian citizens to theft. We also gave you a sad report of a dead man trying to hide in the landing gear of a plane bound for Europe. While on the African scene, South Africa calls for unity at the G20 amid Ukraine's tension, while Trump's Ukraine peace push and concessions to Russia leaves Ukraine and Europe in a cold mood. We must apologize for not being able to have Barrister Base here on tonight's Undaunted, but subsequently we promise he'll be part of the conversation. Sincerest apologies for that. Thanks to all of the technical crew who are behind tonight's production. This is saying good night and God bless.